All right, so our French knot, which is probably my favorite stitch. I'm gonna start over here just because I've got my hoop stand. This is my favorite stitch, but it probably would be considered one of the most difficult ones on this beginner stitch pattern, but I still believe it's a beginner stitch that every beginner needs to learn. So you're gonna come up through the back of the fabric and you're gonna take this thread in your non-dominant hand and you're gonna take your needle in your dominant hand. You're gonna make kind of like a T shape with it. And you're gonna wrap, you're gonna wrap your needle, your thread around your needle. We're gonna do 2 wraps. So French knots can be done in more than 1 wrap. You can do them in 1, 2, 3, but we're gonna do 2 for this. You're gonna wrap it around. And then what you wanna do is you want to, before you do anything with your knot, keeping the tension so it doesn't unravel, but you're gonna push your needle through the fabric. And then not all the way through, just enough that the needle is anchored. Then you're gonna pull your knot using your non-dominant hand to the surface of your fabric. Once you've done that, your knot will be pretty secure. Like you can almost let go and it should stay where it is, especially if you're keeping your working thread kind of down here. And then you can go to the back of your fabric and actually pull your needle through, and everything should stay pretty much in place if you've done it following that technique. And that's the key to that is the tension and keeping your needle, pulling your knot down to the surface of your fabric once your needle is through. So again, we're going to do the same thing. We're pushing it, and see how I've lost kind of the tension on my knot? That's okay. I just pull again, pull it down to the surface, push my needle a little bit further through, and then grab from the back and pull it. I'm kind of keeping one hand on the tension of that knot, but I'm not worried about pulling it too tight because then it makes it more difficult to get your needle through. So we can do 1 wrap too. So you would just wrap 1 time, holding it obviously in the opposite direction so that the knot stays intact. If you let go too much, it will unravel. And then pulling it down and through. And you can experiment with how many wraps you do to give you kind of an idea of what they look like. 1, 2, 3. And then pulling the knot down. 3 is a pretty big knot. I'm gonna pull it through. And then the more wraps you get, the harder it's gonna be to probably pull your needle through, just because the tension will be tighter. But there you go. You should have a pretty good idea of how to keep those getting without knotting up. If you feel like you're still having trouble, there is a troubleshooting video that I've linked on your page for French knots that goes through everything again. And so I suggest going and watching that one and giving yourself just another refresher if you want another video.